All right, welcome to another episode of the Three Count. It is I, Paul, and Benny here for you today. Jaquan is not here. Like always, he's MIA. He's doing his thing. We don't know where he's at right now. Somewhere in Queens. But we're here today to be an episode of we're going over Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, and Hell in a Cell. It should be quick and easy because of the fact that Hell in a Cell decided to only have 4 matches so far that we know. That's a good part. So let's start off with Raw, and let's just say the new stage is great. I liked it. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with it.
It's nice. It's kind of weird, but it's nice. It's not as good as SmackDown's though.
No, it's not.
Not as good as SmackDown's though.
But here's what I'm looking forward to Raw because of the way it comes all the way up to the bottom. There's a lot that they can do with it, like in regards to like building stuff on the bottom and playing with the video to come all the way to the top, like smoke, like video, all that stuff. If their people are smart enough to actually figure that out,
yeah,
I
mean, the one thing in WWE that I don't ever doubt is their video department.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever when they're putting together like hype packages and all kinds of other stuff, they're excellent with it. They can turn the most mundane nonsense into something amazing. So as far as like graphically and everything, like when it comes to actually working with the stage and working with I don't even know if you can call it Titantron anymore. It's working with the screens and everything. I'm pretty sure that they can like pretty much make the most out of it. The issue that I'm having right now is how I want to say how visible everything is as far as like, and the one main one that I'm going to say is Becky Lynch. When she came out with her entrance, the machine that they came out, she had all of her smoke and everything back, which is awesome. The problem is, it's like they had, it was almost as egregious as 2 guys standing on either side of her with fire extinguishers. It was that bad. When she came, I was just like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see her come out on SmackDown, so I don't know like how that looked at the time or whatever. I was I was only listening at the point. So I don't know how it looked on SmackDown, but on Raw it looked horrible.
Right.
Hopefully they can work the kinks out with that and everything like that.
Yeah. I like the way it come out, and like they have a little entrance. The doorway is like right like a side door, but kind of step back. So there's still like, depending how you look at it, the panel comes across evenly. But if you look at an angle, you see the doorway. I think it's pretty cool. I like it.
That's what I saw when I forgot where I saw the Raw set. I know one of you guys posted the SmackDown one. It's just I don't remember where I saw the Raw set. And they actually showed it from in like the upper stands and everything within the seats on the upper level, and you could actually see like almost into the door. And I was just like, I don't like that. But at the same time, who's going to be paying attention to that during the entrance? Right? That's a small nitpick.
Yeah, if like I said, if you look at it straight, you're not going to notice it. If you look at an angle, you'll see it. So like, obviously the camera comes in play. You get it straight.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll get it right. In regards to the show, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's like, what can I say? Raw just being Raw. I think they're getting really antsy with the whole AEW, which anybody listening and watching will be talking on the next part of this. We're cutting this a 2-parter. I think they got worried and they're antsy with that. They threw a lot of matches together, a lot of things that didn't make sense. The one that annoyed me the most was in the beginning of the show. You already had Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins, and then they completely bury Rey and annihilate Dominic. For what reason? Which like comes back to SmackDown.
Yeah, you find out what the reason is on SmackDown, but a lot of you, I touched on this with you guys the night that this mess happened. And all throughout the week, as I'm listening to different reviews and things of the actual shows, it makes it so much worse when you think about it. You have this situation where Seth Rollins all week has been talking about, it's an honor and everything. Is one of his dream matches and everything that he wanted to actually face up against Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio goes out there, talks about he's going to dedicate the match to his son Dominic, and then you turn around and Brock Lesnar comes out and F5, 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 German suplex, German suplex, German suplex, and where is Seth Rollins? Absolutely nowhere. He's in the back. As a matter of fact, what would have made it better is if he was arriving to the arena after this mess happened and he found out, but no, they actually sat up there and had him just in the back and he didn't do anything about it. So you look like you really look like a face right now. And I mean that in the most sarcastic way possible. You really look like the company's top face, letting, another face out there get absolutely demolished when you're supposed to be facing off against this guy, and he's apparently a dream match for you. But you made all of this time to go out there for Hulk Hogan, the company's most controversial person right now, for the most controversial show. We'll get to that later, though.
Oh, he didn't just come down. He came running down. My man,
oh, yeah.
He was like he had like 5 Red Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it was annoying. When I saw it, I was like, why?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go to SmackDown and we'll talk about it. It made no sense. It made no sense at all. Nobody came out to help Ray, storyline or not. I mean, it was just annoying. And then he comes back out, we'll get to the SmackDown. But now they have a 5-on-5 crown jewel match, Hogan versus Flair. And Flair sounded like he was freaking drunk half of the time.
Oh, yeah. Flair sounded like he had, as a matter of fact, I hate to bring this up knowing that you're a Jets fan, but you remember the Monday Night Football where Joe Namath was on there trying to kiss the announcer? That is exactly what I thought of in the midst of this. Oh, man. That was quite possibly. I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at Flair. I'm listening to him and I'm like, yeah, he's not right. He's not right. And I can see Hogan. He's trying to bring Flair back, but Flair's just not having any of it.
No. Hogan's throwing lifelines after lifeline after lifeline. He's like, Jeff line.
Mm-hmm. Come on. I'm like, you got to be kidding me with this. And then Orton goes out there and I like the way Orton kind of sort of just shut it down and everything like that. Got the mic and everything. Goes out there, he starts talking his normal, nonsense when it comes to, a match or whatever that doesn't have anything to do with anything, like he did with Triple H back in the day. Or I say back in the day, last year. And then he kind of sort of gives Ric Flair a moment. He's like, yeah, can I get a woo? And then he brings it right back. Like I said, I love that part right there because, like I said, Randy Orton took that mess over and made it passable.
Right.
That could have ended up really bad. Like some Jake the Snake Roberts type bad.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't. I was like, I'm done. I couldn't deal with Raw the whole night. I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
They had almost like no setup for Sunday, for tonight.
No, on either show.
Was that?
Either show.
It was useless.
These were your two go home shows. Your Raw, your SmackDown. These were your last chances to actually build for your pay-per-view. But these guys were so focused on trying to outdo AEW this week that you had, I want to say you had you had nostalgia shows on both of them, just because of the fact you had Hogan and Flair on Raw. You had The Rock on SmackDown. Undertaker was supposed to be on SmackDown and didn't show. And then you got NXT putting on a mini takeover in the middle of the week. And then, like I said, nothing happened, trying to build towards Hell in a Cell. But like I said, it is what it is.
So just for the fans and people listening out there, I canceled my subscription to WWE Network. And this is why. We got a match card tonight with only 4 matches. 4 matches. That's it. If y'all know what they are, we'll run it down real quick. Seth Rollins versus The Fiend. Sasha Banks versus Becky, Bayley versus Charlotte Flair, and then you got a tag team match with Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, which apparently came about Friday night. Just like
Well, nah, the tag team match that was actually set for a minute. The other one, Bayley and Charlotte, came out of nowhere. It literally just materialized out of nothing.
right.
They were just like, "Oh man, we only got 3 matches on the card. We need to think of something else." Yeah. Bayley, Charlotte, throw them out there because Charlotte, made Bayley tap the other day again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I really do not know.
And
I'm sitting here, and and Jaquan knows, and honestly, Joe knows as well because he hit me up yesterday with the all caps and the all exclamation points about something that happened on SmackDown. I'm holding one in.
Right I know. I just want to end this on the Raw part.
Yeah.
The ending of Raw, because I caught that ending, was so WWE Attitude Era. It was hilarious with Lana and Bobby and Rusev.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, they're like really pushing this. I don't know if this is complete kayfabe or what's going on, but Rusev looked like destroyed.
Yeah. I honestly, my bad to cut you off. The way that the thing actually looked, there were some timing issues in that too, which made it that much more awkward.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, Lashley came out, right? And he pointed to the entranceway about 4 times before Lana's music actually hit.
Yeah.
Then he came out there, and you have this really, really uncomfortable amount of time where the two of them are kissing and going almost into the whole Edge Lita live sex celebration on the freaking entranceway. You have Baron Corbin and Randy Orton just standing there for no reason. And then, they just keep cutting back to Rusev in the ring like he's just standing there looking at them. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And we're not even getting to the part with the Fiend. Seth Rollins is sitting out the ring for 2 hours waiting for this mess to actually resolve itself.
And I swear, I thought I saw Bobby put his tongue down her throat.
Yeah.
I thought that's a little too much. She's married. From what I know, I don't think I heard if this is the matter or not.
As far as I know, they are still together.
That's what I'm saying. So,
they may not be after Monday, but they were together when that show started.
Rusev had that face like, damn, she went black, she ain't coming back.
Yep. It was over. It was 100% over. And the crazy part about it is, what you're seeing right now is the complete flip of the stuff that was happening in the Attitude Era, because that whole segment reminded me almost to the letter of the Vince McMahon, Trish Stratus, Linda McMahon when Linda was in the wheelchair. I don't know if you remember that mess. This was right before, I think it was WrestleMania 17, where they was doing this angle or whatever where Vince had Linda drugged up or something and he was having an affair with Trish. That to the letter was almost the exact same scene as what we saw right there, except the roles were reversed. Now you have the woman that's cheating instead of, the man.
Yeah. Then the Fiend comes out and does what he does. I'm just like, it's a crazy ending, and there was too much going on.
Yeah.
If they had left it with Rusev and Lana and all that, I think I would have been fine.
Yeah.
That was already a shocker as it was. So the Fiend on top of that, you're like, it's too much. What makes the Fiend so special is he comes out of nowhere. Now they're trying to do too much with him now.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
That's the fear that I had with him being involved with the Universal Championship. If it was, say, him versus Seth, but there was no belt involved, then you don't have to have the Fiend showing up all the time. But now, because of the fact that you have to do something with him, now you're going to sit up here and you're running the danger of overexposing him. To which, I mean, to a point, it's just like we want more Bray Wyatt, but at the same time, we as fans, we got to temper our own expectations to be like, all right, listen, if we get too much, we're gonna the shine's gonna come off of it, and we don't want that.
Right.
So I don't know, and All right, this is something I got to get to regarding that when we do the Hell in the Cell thing.
Yeah, so that's Raw in a nutshell. Because after that, if you want to talk about like the matches, Styles and Cedric Alexander getting buried again. Lacey Evans attacks Natalia. Ricochet Cesaro, Rocky Raiders, Luke Ellis, and Carl Anderson. I mean, there's like nothing really that stood out here.
Nah, the only thing that I'm gonna excuse now, I have been, and y'all know, I have been really upset with how they have dealt with the Sasha Banks heel turn, and part of this is because I'm a Sasha Banks stan. But I this past week I don't mind. I don't know, like not talking about SmackDown or Raw. I don't mind how they did that because it built the Cell match versus building Sasha and Becky. Whereas at this time or whatever, now you have Sasha, she runs off or whatever. Now, okay, yeah, now you have nowhere to run. La da 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 da. Okay, whatever. That's the way it's supposed to be built up because you're in a Hell in a Cell match. If this was a situation where there was no Cell involved, I would have been pissed off because then it's once again Becky has the advantage over Sasha Banks. Your heel has absolutely no heat whatsoever. All she's doing is winning the matches. Granted, this time from some way, somehow, with a kick to the knee. I don't know how that knocked Alexa Bliss out, but apparently it did. But like I said, I digress. In this situation with that particular one, I don't mind how they ended that part. But the rest of it, it was annoying or whatever. Like I said, but this right here, this was actually kind of good. That's the only thing that I'll actually excuse from that. The rest of the show was just eh. It was kind of sort of just there.
Yeah. Let's go to let's jump to Friday because we're trying to talk about the main cards, the main shows, and because they were supposed to be the go home shows to the pay-per-view tonight, Hell in a Cell, and pretty much it was like no build, almost no build for anything. So Friday we had SmackDown. It was the whole first episode on Fox. I get it. You want to make it special, you want to make it hot, you want to make it nice. Problem is you had trying to do two things at once. You're trying to fire up the crowd, trying to get the ratings, which they got like I think a decent amount of ratings on there. I think it was 1.9. I think it was 3.4. I can't remember.
I don't remember hearing anything about it. I've been so down on this week that I haven't really been looking.
Yeah.
So it's just
the gap is high, but I think one is like the highest it got, and the other one is like the overall total. I just can't remember. I have to look it up again. So they were so concerned because remember we were talking about how there's that little clause in the contract with Fox that Fox can actually nullify the contract, void and null the contract if the ratings are not up to their standards. Yeah. So they need to pull everything out their ass to keep those ratings up. So the beginning of the show is Becky Lynch, The Rock, and Baron Corbin, and they beat the crap out of Baron Corbin. Which I was like, you bring back the King of the Ring, and then you're doing what you've done before. You treat the winner like nothing.
Thank you.
Like nothing.
Thank you.
I like his outfit.
I'm so glad you said that.
I love his outfit. It looks like what's that called for that show? What's that damn show? We just finished.
Game of Thrones.
Thank you, Game of Thrones. It looked very Game of Thrones-esque. You know?
Yeah.
I like it. But then you have him doing dumb shit, and it's like worse. You shouldn't have just had him win the thing at all. He was better off than he was. Now you're just making fun of him. And now that whole what did Rock call him? Oh crap.
Something about Burger King and then some other stuff. I forgot exactly what he said.
And they kept calling him Burger King. But now you got doing that. Now you just completely killed the whole King of the Ring.
Yeah, because my thing about it was if you're gonna send a heel out there, it cannot be Corbin. You just got Corbin to the point where the fans are actually buying into him as a heel versus the go away heat he had when he was, the acting general manager and putting himself in every single main event and when he was like super overexposed. Now it's just like, okay, we can sit up here and we can actually enjoy Corbin for what he is. He's an upper mid-carder with a killer moveset and music that was hot, but they ruined.
That made no sense at all either.
I
liked his entrance before. I think it was fire. I love that
yeah,
thing. That thing. Jaquan's like, no, I like it. Like,
I don't like it. I don't like it. It honestly sounds like, a really, really, really bad DJ job. Like, you know how, like, when you're at parties and stuff like that, DJs, they're really talented when it comes to actually mixing music together or whatever. But then you have a situation. It literally sounds like my man stood there and hit pause over here and play right there, and then was like, all right, pause that, play that. No, stop it.
just leave it alone.
Yeah, come on, man. If you want to give him like a royal opening to the song and then keep the rest of his music, like, because they had that little um that little dark chorus thing at the beginning of his music before, but they cut that out, kind of sort of how like they did with the Finn Balor and the heartbeat at the beginning of his. But now whatever, like they got like this wannabe royal thing just like interrupting the music. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is wrong with that. And this actually goes to a whole different thing with a whole bunch of other different teams, i.e., Kabuki Warriors and Fire and Desire and a couple other teams that want to sit up there and then have their music interrupted. I hate it. I can't stand it. But that's rambling, and I ain't trying to get on that right now.
Yeah. So that was annoying. And so, yeah, so they pretty much they're already neutering him. Like, not even, like, less than a month after he won King of the Ring. It's horrible. Then you have the Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair tag team match against Sasha Banks and Bayley, which wasn't bad, which I thought was pretty decent match. But like you said, it set up out of nowhere, it set up Bayley and Charlotte, which is annoying because of the fact that, again, Charlotte's gonna contend for another title.
And it's not even so much in this case with me that, okay, look, Charlotte's contending for another title. I kind of sort of figured that was going to happen when the move to Fox was going on, because Charlotte, like it or not, is the top female in the WWE. All right, regardless of what Becky has done, regardless of where Ronda Rousey is, regardless of Sasha, Bayley, Asuka, whoever else is on that roster, Charlotte is top dog. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, because Charlotte is the one that's on the head of the car. She's probably the most athletically gifted out of all of them. And she's a flair. Like, it is what it is. All right. Regardless of what anybody thinks, like, Charlotte is going to be the one that's on the top. I was actually getting ready to call her Ashley for some reason. I know that's her name, but I don't know why that popped in my head. But she's always going to be the one that's actually on the top, just because of the fact that she's the biggest name that's out there. Now, like I said, I don't have any problem with that. The problem that I have is, once again, this absolute burial of Bayley. How many times are we going to sit up here and have Bayley look like an absolute chump? Bayley went out there and she, as far as I know, has victories over every single one of the horsewomen going back to NXT.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
Should be Sasha for the belt.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she, like I said, she has victories over Charlotte and Becky in NXT as well as going forward into, the WWE. Victories over Sasha in WWE. Victory over Charlotte in WWE. I don't remember her facing off against Becky. But
I think so. They've both been faces. And when Becky was a heel, I don't think they faced off either.
They were on different shows.
Yeah.
They were on different shows. So, like I said, that right there is neither here nor there. But, like, you got somebody, if you're sitting up here and the way that it's looking is you're trying to push the four horsewomen as the face of the women's division. The problem is you're taking one of them and saying, all right, we're going to push these three over here, or rather, we're going to push these two over here. We're going to kind of sort of push Sasha. And then Bayley, now you're going to take every fall in every single match that we have involving all of these people.
Even though you're the SmackDown champion.
Yes. So you are not only sitting up, and what makes it so much worse is Bayley won the belt from Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
But she won it at Money in the Bank with a cash-in.
Right. Right.
So what you're basically telling me, and then the next time that she faced Charlotte, Charlotte took 99% of that match until Bayley, undid the ring, the turnbuckle cover, and Charlotte knocked herself out on it. So what you're telling me is that Bayley, even as the champion, is completely inferior and cannot beat Charlotte.
Yeah.
Why, if I'm a fan, why if I'm a fan that doesn't know how like the inner workings and everything of this goes, why am I gonna buy into that? Why am I gonna buy into Bayley knowing that like, okay, she's just inferior to Charlotte Flair? All right, there's no reason for me to even think for a second that she's gonna win this match. That's the part that actually gets me, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, especially like you said in the last pay-per-view, Bayley just won because she took the turnbuckle off. So she won because of shenanigans. So it's like, she won the title off of Money to Cash In after Charlotte got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
She beat Charlotte with shenanigans, taking the turnbuckle cover off and having her fall like on the metal part and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's like you said? What's there to believe that she can beat her? She's been getting her ass beat, like
Yes.
I don't know how long. And it's annoying because you're not really just burying her, you're burying the title.
Yep.
Completely. And you can't do that for the show that you actually need to be ratings up.
Yeah.
So the whole Bayley reign is worse than the Kofi reign. Because
And
Kofi.
considering.
Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
At least Kofi, he had some quality matches. He only had one true test before Brock, but still, you can't deny that some of these people like the quality like they were, even if it was Dolph, even if it was the same thing, they were good matches, they were good opponents. Bayley, I mean, Ember Moon, that's it. Like, and even then, like they made Ember Moon like a damn.
The match wasn't that good.
Well, I mean, like you mentioned it, it was like their styles just don't clash. But I mean, they just told Ember, "You're gonna lose, so figure it out." That's why I like it, And I don't think she was too involved into it because she knew she was gonna lose, and that sucks because I don't blame her. She should have gotten a real push, not like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna go in this match because we have no one else to put in there."
Yeah, the way they set that one up, it was literally Bayley just being like, "I want to face you," and then Ember like, "Yeah, let's do it." There was no Ember actually going over on somebody to put herself into that position. And then leading up to that, they sat up there and they sacrificed Ember Moon and Bayley to the Becky Natalya feud. They had Natalya go out there and literally beat the crap out of everybody, like because they were trying to build her up to something credible for Becky when they should have been building her up with her own roster on Raw.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You got your pin? Because if you don't, then I sure do. That's for the both of us.
Yeah, but moving on. The one highlight of the show I had was the Shane McMahon Kevin Owens match.
Yes.
When they storyline wrote Shane McMahon out of WWE now.
Now we all knew that this mess was going to happen, but I love the fact that the two of them together kept every single fan engaged into that. Like everybody went in knowing, like, yo, they're not gonna sit up there and just completely fire Kevin Owens. All right. And Shane McMahon, it's been like rumored, not even rumored so much as it is almost a foregone conclusion that they're going to be pulling him back off of TV and having him do, backstage and everything like that. So we all knew this mess was actually going to go down like this. But the fact that the two of them, with all of their absolute insanity, were able to keep everybody engaged, I honestly, I have to applaud them. I have to applaud them. As tired as I was, and as tired as everybody in the entire world was of Shane McMahon being on TV and making everybody else actually being competitive with, trained wrestlers and stuff like that. That was a match that I honestly am going to go back and watch not once, but several times after, just because of the fact that it's just like, these two put on a show. This was a pay-per-view quality match that they put out on SmackDown on free TV, not even cable.
Yeah. So that's the one match that actually impressed me. That's the one the highlight for me of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had that 6-man tag team match, which was a joke, but it was a setup Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman for whatever. I don't know. So
that was so stupid.
yeah, that made no sense at all. I mean, it is what it is. But then we had Eric Rowan and Roman Reigns in a lumberjack match, which it was interesting. It was. I like the way they build Rowan, and I like the way they put in Harper. They build Rowan. They're building Eric Rowan to be stronger, and I like they're actually doing like WWE does some things correctly, some little bit, not all the time. Like Eric Rowan, they're doing that good, but majority of the time, not the case.
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing. They're making him a force so that you don't go into like thinking that Roman Reigns is going to beat the crap out of him easily. And I like it. Because it builds them up for the future.
Yeah.
You know? So, but I just couldn't finish watching that match, though.
These are the types of things that you actually have to do with somebody who, now granted, Rowan was already heel, but he broke out and became the main heel as far as like, you know, the act that was going on. He broke out, he's on his own. He broke away from Daniel Bryan, who's arguably, you know, and always going to be the bigger name between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
He broke out from that, and now he's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to establish himself. I was a little shaky on it. Like, I popped when Harper showed back up. I'm like, oh my God, where's this guy been?
Right.
But then I immediately, like, after that and after all of that kind of sort of settled down, I'm like, this was really stupid. So you broke out of a tag team to go solo to get into another tag team. Why?
It was no. What happened was, remember Rowan got hurt when they were the Bludgeon Brothers. Rowan got hurt.
Yeah. I know what I was talking about. What I was talking about is he broke away from Daniel Bryan just to join another tag team back with Harper, and I'm just like, why? You were supposed to be going, you know, for yourself, but something else a little bit later. I was hearing about. I don't believe Harper signed a new contract yet.
No. I think he's letting it expire.
So, this actually leads into this match tonight. Every single thing was pointing towards, for me at least, pointing towards Rowan and Harper actually winning. Until I found out that Harper's contract wasn't renewed.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that they put the two of them back together just so that he could take the fall here.
I don't doubt it. I mean, but here's the funny thing. I forgot where I heard it. I think Luke said it or somebody heard somewhere. They're not officially back together as a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
Some weird stuff, but yet Harper's showing up. So I don't get it. Are you or not? So I don't know. You might be right, though. They might have them together so that it keeps Rowan strong and Harper takes the fall. Because if he's leaving, he doesn't need to be built up. He can just look strong and then take the fall every time to keep Rowan strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that does make sense. I can see Roman getting knocked out and it just Roman beating the crap out of Luke and just spearing him to death and pinning him, get the win. But yeah, let's go to the the cluster that was the ending of SmackDown, which I will let you go off because you've been waiting for this the last 2 days.
I've been waiting for this one for a while. All right. WWE. I completely understand that you want to cater to Fox. Fox's ideal of having, you know, a more sports-based program. All right. I have no problem with that. Brock Lesnar, I have no problem with you. The only issue I have with you being around is you being a part-timer and being in the title picture, because that completely destroys the actual competition and the competitive aspect of a TV show that we're actually supposed to be watching and investing in. Kofi Kingston, from Elimination Chamber until Friday Night SmackDown, was built up incredibly strong. Now, he took a couple losses prior to WrestleMania or whatever, namely in like the gauntlet match where they sent, you know, Daniel Bryan out there, and then all of the other stuff leading up to that. After he won at WrestleMania, Kofi Kingston had not lost a singles match before Friday. That's how strong Kofi was being built up. The only time he had taken a loss was in tag team matches, where, he turned around into an RKO or something like that. And to be honest with you, he hadn't lost until I think he started feuding with Randy Orton. Kofi Kingston beat Daniel Bryan. He beat Kevin Owens. He beat Dolph Ziggler twice. He beat Samoa Joe. He beat Randy Orton. He had a no contest with Randy Orton, which kind of should have been his victory. But that's neither here nor there. That is 7 matches, title matches, that Kofi Kingston has had between the pay-per-views and, that clusterfuck over in Saudi Arabia. All building up this man to be a strong, competitive, fighting WWE champion. The man holding the title that has your company's name on it. If you look at the Universal Championship, it was supposed to be the top title at the time, but what did they always call it? Universal Championship. They never, us outside of Heyman, called that belt the WWE Universal title. They never did. The only title that had that name, even with the other titles in the company, was the WWE Championship. The only one. You took that title, put it on this man, and built him up so strongly, and he was only worth 8 seconds of Brock Lesnar's time. Do you realize that not only did you make Kofi look like shit, you made Daniel Bryan look like shit, you made Samoa Joe look like shit, you made Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Dolph Ziggler. Now, I give Dolph Ziggler a lot of shit, all right? But that's just because of the fact that he reminds me way too much of Shawn Michaels, and I don't like that. All of these superstars, all of these guys that put in full time. I mean, with the exception of Dolph. The Dolph's been back recently, but before he was on his comedy tour. But you sat here and you sacrificed every single one of these guys, every single one of their credibility. You have thrown into a paper shredder, set the paper shredder on fire, loaded it into a freaking rocket, and launched it into the sun. That is what you have done to these guys' credibility. And the sad thing about it is, Kofi is probably going to fade back into absolute nothingness after this. After all of the stuff that they did to build him up for the past 7 months, he is going to fade back into absolute irrelevance because of his nonsense. To make matters even worse, I was sitting there thinking that this was how it was going to go down, right? Maybe you want to set up the Cain Velasquez thing like they actually ended up doing. In the middle of the match, Kofi's fighting. Give him a fighting chance. Just give him a fighting chance. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. Let him kick out of an F5. Let him land a Trouble in Paradise. I don't know. He's not. There's no way in hell he's gonna get Brock Lesnar's big ass into a SOS. But give him some type of a fighting chance, because you literally just said that nobody on your roster is worth watching except these MMA guys. Well, how I thought that this mess was going to go. Kofi getting a light, nice little fight or whatever. But the moment he starts to get stuff, taken down or whatever, then Rey Mysterio pops out. I thought this was what they were setting up on Monday. That Rey was going to come out and actually cost Brock the championship. And then you were going to start a feud between the two of them. He's going to get beat up again. And then Cain Velasquez shows up. I've been fine with that, but nah. Brock comes out there, 8 seconds, 1 F5. Kofi looks like a complete idiot, completely worthless, just like the rest of the freaking roster, apparently. Because what happens after that, Rey Mysterio comes out, Cain Velasquez comes out, and Brock Lesnar scared shitless. Brock Lesnar gets taken down. gets crap beat out of him by Cain Velasquez, and then he runs off. So once again, I understand now, WWE. You were telling me as a fan that none of the people that actually put in their time with you are worth watching. The only thing that I need to pay attention to is these MMA guys that just show up for these one-offs, or just show up for these huge paydays, or show up for these fucking Saudi Arabia shows like you sat up there and get sent out to us earlier. There's a reason why Big Gold is sitting right here right now. Because y'all notice, it's the Big Eagle ain't up here. That is my favorite title in history of wrestling, is that Big Eagle WWE Championship. Big Gold is up here today. Don't worry. Big Eagle's right here. All right? But it's out of frame right now because of the fact that I can't sit up here and in good faith had that belt sitting behind me while somebody like Brock Lesnar is carrying it after that travesty that they showed. I am sitting here, honestly, evened out from where I was Friday. I was coming back from work or whatever. I was coming there, actually going back to my job or whatever, in the middle of listening to this mess going on. The bell rang. 8 seconds later, I'm hearing a new WWE champion. I was so hot. I knew it had happened. I knew it was a possibility considering we were getting so close to that 10 o'clock mark, but I still couldn't believe it. No, they couldn't have done that. They couldn't have sat up there and ended this mess the way that they did. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. WWE, you fooled me. You caught me again. You caught me. You caught me. You caught me. And honestly, I can't blame anybody but myself for sitting up here believing that y'all was going to do something any different. I am honestly so peeved at them right now. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. Honestly, I want to see where they go with this. Maybe it's the fact that, like I said before, the Crown Prince wants Brock Lesnar over there, and he got him. He got him. The question is what's going to happen after this. Because, like I said before, Kofi's probably going to fade back into nothingness. He had his title reign. He had his feel-good story. Now what?
Yeah. That was the same for me, kind of. I was like, we had this match going. And then I turned around for a second, like, I forgot what I did. Turn around and boom. I'm like, and knew. I was like, wait, what the hell? Like, are you serious? Something like that quick? I'm like, my man didn't even get an offense and nothing at all. Not a drop kick, not a trouble, nothing.
Literally ran towards him and got F5. That was it.
Yeah. I was just like, are you serious? You had enough time to let Kofi get at least some kind of offense, at least something to defend himself. One kick, something. No. Let me pick you up like a rag doll. Ah! It's over.
Brock spent more time beating up Dominic on Monday than he did with Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here and I try my hardest to not bring race into an issue when it's not the issue. But when you look at it from this perspective, how long did Seth Rollins last with Brock Lesnar? Oh, wait. Seth Rollins beat Brock Lesnar twice.
Finn Balor.
How long did Finn Balor last with Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, he had a good thing. Daniel Bryan.
How long did Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles last with Brock Lesnar? Mind you, Kofi beat Daniel Bryan. What are you telling me, WWE? What exactly are you telling me?
It has nothing to do because he's black. Nothing to do with that. No.
Nah, don't worry about it. I forgot. Kofi's Jamaican. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I can't, yo.
Nothing to do because he's from Ghana. No.
Nah. Anyway, we got Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we got what 2 hours till Hell in the Cell starts up. I still have my network just
Just got
because I want to
notification.
watch
They
pay-per-view.
they
That's it.
officially came out with 4 matches now. 4 more
Yep,
matches. Natalia versus Lacey Evans.
that makes no sense.
The Chad Gable versus Baron Corbin or King Corbin.
Why?
Viking Raiders versus the OC versus a mystery team.
It's gonna be LAX.
I would. And here's the interesting one that I'm interested to watch. If I said the network, the Kabuki Warriors versus Bliss and Cross for the titles.
Bliss and Cross are gonna win that. As much as I want Asuka and Kairi Sane to have some type of success on the main roster, it's not happening.
No,
it's honestly not happening.
No, I want them to win it too. It's not gonna happen. It's Bliss and Cross are gonna retain. It's just ridiculous. So that was their Monday night SmackDown, and the go home shows wrapped up with the Hell in a Cell preview, which is coming up right now, which is your 4 matches. I see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan winning, and I think we both said pretty much Luke Harper's there to take the pin. I think we both agree on that one.
I don't have to say yourself, really.
What's that?
No, so what do you have to say for yourself? Like, really?
I mean, the whole Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns that came up like kind of strange, but there's no way they're going to lose that match at all.
Nah, like I was saying before, the what's gotten me, what tipped the scales for me now is the fact that I haven't heard anything about this Harper contract, and if he's really not re-signed, that basically tells me that he's taking the pin. Now, had they said that his future with WWE was secure, I would literally be like, okay, this match is set up for Rowan and Harper to establish themselves. Excuse me, I can't even speak now. To establish themselves as, a dominant force, something that can threaten, even the likes of Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. The one thing that I do not want to happen is for them to sit there and go, all right, Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, they're sitting up there, they're getting the match, they're winning the match, they're getting ready to actually, Roman is in the corner doing his ooh-ah or his, little Superman punch thing where he cocks his arm, and then Daniel Bryan hits him with a running knee, and I was the mastermind all along. I do not want that at all. I don't want that at all. Leave that alone. All right? I know, Paul. I know.
That's gonna happen. Watch that happen. Watch that happen.
And the funny thing about it is, somebody would tell me, you spoke it into existence. I didn't even speak this into existence. I was thinking it beforehand, but every freaking thing that I watch, Wrestle Talk, What Culture, Cultaholic, all of them, they're all saying they don't want this nonsense to happen because it would make no sense.
But it's such WWE like though.
It's so WWE though.
I can see it happen like in midair. He's doing Superman punch, and that's when Daniel Bryan comes flying with the knee.
Right, it'd be funny though.
It would.
It would be funny. It would be cool. But I would absolutely hate it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's go on to the women's titles, to the Becky and Flair. As much as I had to say, I think Flair is going to win this one.
I think she's going to win it too. I would. And the reason being is draft. They're trying to reset the rosters. They want to put all of their, their major stars over on the SmackDown. And like I said, the way Bayley's been treated recently, I don't see I don't see her holding on to the title. I do believe that Bayley and Sasha are going to stay together. I think that when going later on, we're going to do the Sasha Becky. I think that Sasha's going to win that match, and I think they're both going to go over to Raw and stay on Raw. Whereas you're going to get Becky and Charlotte over on SmackDown. But like I said, I've got to go with Charlotte on this one. Charlotte is always booked overly strong. She is literally the Roman Reigns / John Cena / Hulk Hogan of the division right now. except I don't think she's racist. So let's drop the Hulk Hogan part. No, she's not because of Andrade.
Yeah.
Yes. No, Charlotte's cool.
They're engaged and supposedly they're already married. I don't know about that married part, but I know they're engaged though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to Becky and Banks, and I think Becky's going to retain.
I don't think she's going to retain. I think she has to drop the title because I think they're going to be moving her over to SmackDown too.
No, here's the reason why I think she's going to retain. I think she's going to retain, and goes back to Kabuki Warriors losing their match against Bliss and Cross because I think they lose. Banks and Bayley walk out of Hell in a Cell without any titles, and they concentrate on the tag team titles to get back to where they originally were supposed to be, and they built the tag team title division.
I would hate that,
but
I would hate that
myself. Mm-hmm. That's the smart thing to do, but it's not WWE. So I get what you're saying. They're trying to build SmackDown, but I don't think they're going to try and do it while depleting Raw. So I think Becky stays on Raw and Charlotte stays on SmackDown as the champion.
Yeah, I think they're putting Becky on SmackDown. So like my whole thing is like, if Sasha does not win tonight, and this is the danger that you run into with that match ending the way that it did at the previous pay-per-view, which I honestly can't even remember what the hell it was at this point.
It was like and they just kept fighting. Something like that.
No. What I mean is like, Sasha won the match. She won by DQ because Becky used a chair and hit the ref, which apparently killed him because he was knocked out for 2 hours. We're getting hit in the arm. Oh, that Becky chair shot is probably as lethal as Sasha Banks' kick to Alexa Bliss's knee.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like, the way they set that up with Sasha not being able to get a definitive win, and then say she loses the Hell in a Cell match, what the hell was the point of her heel turn? Now you've completely neutered her, and she didn't have nothing to begin with.
Yeah. The whole point was supposed to build her back up when she came back.
Yeah. You build her back up, you throw her completely right into the title feud, you reinvent the Boss. Have her as this little smarmy heel or whatever. I was hoping that they were going to try and build her up as some type of a badass, but you can't have 2 badass females for some reason. But like I said, if she takes an L tonight, that kind of sort of like really kills any momentum that she had coming off of SummerSlam when she came back.
Right.
So I'm just like, you gotta have something. You gotta have something to make this actual heel turn worthwhile. And the only thing that you can actually do with that is have her win the belt. And with that, like I said, you move Becky over to SmackDown so that she can sit there and be like, all right, well, I'm going to sit up here and I'm going to work this for now. But just remember, Royal Rumble winner goes where they want.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I could honestly really, really see. Plus, if Ronda Rousey ever sews her finger back on and comes back to the WWE, chances are she's going to go to SmackDown, and then you have your triple threat match from WrestleMania all on SmackDown right now.
Right.
Then you can sit up there if you have all of these like names over there on SmackDown. Now you can start to build up on Raw your other females that have been underutilized. Your Asukas, your Kairi Sanes, your please God give me Liv Morgan coming back, your Ember Moons, all of these stars or whatever that have been, held down and everything with, the names like Becky and Sasha and all these, Becky and Charlotte and all of them. Now you can start to build them up, and you have these 2 top heels at the top of the division with Sasha and Bayley over there on Raw. That's how I would actually do it. That's how I think they're actually going to do it. But again, we know how things work.
Yeah.
But anyway, long story short, I'm going with Sasha with that one.
And the main event, Bray the Fiend Wyatt versus Seth Rollins. This is the one we hated because of the fact that you have to have the Fiend win. He's got to win. If he does it, you destroy all the momentum that he built for the character. You destroy it completely. and he won't be looked at the same.
Here's what I was saying earlier when we initially touched on the Fiend attacking Seth Rollins. WWE put out a poll asking, how do you think this match is going to end? The options were the Fiend wins, Seth Rollins retains, but there was a third option in there. A third option that actually took place, I believe, at the last Hell in the Cell pay-per-view, and it was DQ. Paul, I swear to God. if anything could piss me off more than the way that Brock Kofi match ended, is if this match ends in a disqualification.
They'll find a way to end that Hell in a Cell match in a DQ. They'll find a way. Even like
yes.
This is the craziest part, because that's the whole point of a Hell in a Cell match, is there is no DQ.
It's no DQ.
You're locked in the cage. You're locked in the cage. How you gonna be disqualified in the cage match?
There are literally no rules in this match. The only rule is there are no rules. Although you just said it, if anybody can figure out how to end another Hell in a Cell match in a disqualification, it'll be the WWE.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm going with a Fiend victory. I think that Fiend is going to hold the title, and I honestly cannot wait for the Firefly Funhouse with him with the Universal title. I have no idea what he's going to do with this thing, but I know Bray Wyatt has a twisted mind, and I absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. So I think that he's going to do is the most creative nonsense that you can possibly do with the Universal title. But and I think that what they're going to do is they're going to start building somebody up. I don't know who that person is just yet, but I have a feeling that they're going to be building somebody up within the next around. You're going to see it start up around TLC time, if that's still what it is in December, because I don't remember what the December pay-per-view is. You're going to start to get somebody start getting built up. Somebody to actually take the title off him at WrestleMania, but I swear this is too freaking early for this, yo. It's too early for this. I'm going with the Fiend, but at the same time, I'd never wanted this match to happen right now.
You know it's going to be Aleister Black.
I would like that. I would really like that.
But that makes no sense. That's dumb. That's dumb. You pretty much you have two of your supernatural characters facing off, and instead of keeping them separate and building each other separately to dominate separate shows, you put them on the same show, and now you neuter one.
Yeah, like I said, the biggest issue that I had with it is because of the fact that, like I said, they sat up there and they blew their load too quick. They jumped the gun.
Yeah,
this dude goes out there. He's played for. All disbelief suspended. All right. What you have is the Fiend. We know it's Bray Wyatt. All right. So we know Bray Wyatt's been in the WWE before or whatever, but this is technically a new character. This is the Fiend. The Fiend has had one whole match. That one whole match was against Finn Balor. That was it. And that match was, 2 months ago. What exactly has Bray Wyatt done to be in a position to be in the Universal Championship match? This is your top title on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
He's 1-0 right now. Hashtag AEW plug. He's 1-0 right now, which is nice, but he only has one match. That's like, what has he done aside from attack Seth Rollins? He's done nothing. This is, like I said, this is way too early for him to be in this position. I hated the fact that they did this because now you already have to start planning the end game for it. In the end game, the only end game that I could actually see being logical is WrestleMania.
Right.
And the other thing that we had spoken about before, but now it's almost a reality. Survivor Series. If they do Raw versus SmackDown, you realize we're getting Brock versus Fiend. How can they even justify putting that match together? Because you can't beat the Fiend right now. You can't beat him. This is why, like, this is why, like, I'm sitting up here saying, like, they jumped every single gun. Like, they sat up there and Vince McMahon was just like, wow, the Fiend is really over. Let's throw every belt at him right now. All of them. Because it's such good shit.
Mm-hmm.
They sat up there and they jumped the gun. I would have slow burned this.
You had to.
I would have slow burned the hell out of this.
But you know why they weren't going to do that?
Money.
AEW.
They're scared.
They're scared shitless.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe that, look what they're doing. They took NXT off of the network and put them on Wednesday nights. I've been on chat forums and like AEW's not scared. They're not worried. I'm like, they are scared. This is what I've been saying for a while. WWE before had no problem with indie companies. Why? Oh, that Kevin Owens is your top star, Sami Zayn's your top star. Hey, here's extra money. Come with us.
Yep.
Seth Rollins your top star. Here's extra money. Come with us. They take the top stars away. It keeps the indies down. When you have another company that has money and they can sign those same amount of money plus include benefits.
Not only that, you have a company that has not the same amount of money, more money than you, because Tony Khan and his family are worth more than the McMahons.
Right. And they say you're not working a crazy schedule like WWE and you're getting paid like this with benefits. Sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're scared because of that. Then their pay-per-views came out and they were selling. They sold out their shows ASAP. Like
record times.
WWE is having trouble selling some of their shows.
Mm-hmm.
Pay-per-view or live shows.
Yep.
Let alone probably the home shows. The house shows, sorry. Let alone the house shows. You know, they're giving away tickets apparently.
Yeah, they are.
It's like they're deeply concerned. Like they have a lot of stuff on their table that they need to be worried about. If the ratings aren't up to Fox standards, Fox has the right to kick them off of the show. So what's that mean? Probably back to USA Network, and they're not going to get all that money.
Well, what's going to happen there, from what I understand, like the way that Fox negotiated that deal, they actually negotiated the way they negotiate their TV shows. They can pull a TV show, but they're not going to be as quick to pull a live show. What's probably going to end up happening is if WWE doesn't perform up to the standards that they want, they're going to first move it from Fox over to FSN or Fox Sports 1.
Right.
And then you have the trickle down effect. Does it start to, cause that much more of an issue? Does, the ratings still fall and everything like that? Then you have a problem with SmackDown. It's just like this initial part right here, we got to see where, things actually fall for them, because it might end up sticking around that 3 million or whatever that they want. But if it doesn't, then the next logical step is for them to move over to FS1. And that's when things start to get dicey.
Yeah. So, sorry. Trying to catch a clip or something.
Yeah.
The Fiend this is all rushed. Like we said, this is all rushed. We were worried about this. Mm-hmm. And like I said before, Aleister Black is probably the next one they're going to build up, because as you notice, he's been missing.
Yep.
He hasn't been anywhere around. So I can see this coming out as the Fiend is a champion. The Fiend makes a run on the belt. They start feeding him like opponents, and he gets them all, and they're like, "This man is unstoppable." I can see Aleister Black actually winning the Rumble to challenge the Fiend at Mania.
Like I said, I told y'all how I wanted my thing to show up, or how I wanted them to do that. You end up with this situation where now it can't happen now because, like I said, the Fiend is in the Universal Title match and Balor is back on NXT. But I was like, you have this situation where the Fiend, not the Fiend, where you have the Demon Finn Balor in the Royal Rumble. You have Aleister Black in the Royal Rumble. These two are clearing house or whatever. And then it just dawns on the both of them that they're in the ring alone, the two of them, and they face off as the counter is going down. And then when it hits 0, the lights go out and they come back up, and the Fiend is standing in the ring with the two of them. Mm-hmm. That right there, I would have loved that. But, like I said, they blew the load.
Yeah.
They sat up there and they killed it before it even had the chance.
Yeah. Yep.
And like you said, it's because of AEW. But the problem that I have is you have WWE, and maybe this is the fact that we're speaking about something that we don't have any experience actually being in this position, whereas you yourself, you are the head of a company that put another major company out of business. You were the one that went over there and you bought their assets and everything like that. All of this stuff, their entire library, everything, regardless of what it is. You got Tony Schiavone over on AEW right now. His voice is still on your network and it's under your network. This is your stuff. So he can't sit up there and be like, oh, well, that's my voice, that's my royalties. No, it's not. I own that. You're sitting there and you have all of this stuff. Maybe it's an ego thing where it's just like, well, all of that stuff is beneath me. I shouldn't have to use it. I'm the one that put that, I put that in the ground. So it's going to stay in the ground and we're going to keep building off of, my ideas. But at the same time, you have all of this stuff. Like, again, we've spoken on this so many times. WCW has all of these reputable name events. You have Starrcade. You have Great American Bash. Mm-hmm. You have Bash at the Beach. You have Halloween Havoc. You got all of these, nice little events and everything that you can have. You had a situation where you had this bad boy right here that you could have used as one of your top titles to give some type of variety between these two things so that everything doesn't look exactly the same with a palette swap. They don't want to use it. They want to do everything absolutely the way that they want to. And granted, maybe that keeps costs down when it comes to actually, merchandising and all this other stuff. I don't know. I'm not a business major. But this is something that we as fans see as laziness. We see this as complacency. You remember when Madden put 2K out of business? Or not out of business, but put the 2K, they took the actual NFL contract, EA Sports. Mm-hmm. You know how Madden was up here and then it just fell off a cliff?
Yep.
This is kind of sort of what happened with the WWE because of the fact that there was no competition. And now we got some competition back there and just scrambling because they're not used to it anymore. TNA screwed up when they started up, when they decided they wanted to go head-to-head with Raw. And they had nothing but a bunch of Raw and WWE rejects as like their top stars and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Nothing get like I said, I can't sit up there and I say that I flat out dislike anybody. But right now you have R-Truth running around with Carmelo chasing after the 24/7 championship, this little gimmick belt or whatever. That same R-Truth, Ron Truth Killings, was, if I remember correctly, TNA's first world champion. So, like I said, they sat up there and they went in to, they came out with a 6-shooter trying to point at the WWE who had a nuke pointed back at them. They were outmatched. But in this situation, AEW isn't. AEW, while they don't have as talented a roster as the WWE does, the drop off, the gap ain't that big. The gap is not that big, especially considering the fact that WWE don't use half the damn people they have. I think I heard a stat the other day they have about 180 wrestlers or something under roster, under contract between the four brands. But how many of them do you actually see?
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, and all of them are Charlotte Flair.
And with that,
Like,
we'll end the
yeah.
show. We'll get to the AEW Dynamite first episode along with NXT results on the next.
I gotta order food though, so like I said, this might take a minute, but yeah.
Thanks everybody. Have a good one.